This is the Rideal from Ariel Rider, a commuter e-bike with a very reasonable MSRP of $1,099. Ariel Rider sent this to me for evaluation, and the too long didn't watch is that I found this to be a hill climbing beast with its 6-speed human drivetrain, a 750 watt motor that's capable of swallowing climbs as well as helping you to scoot away from stops at intersections. It's not a stealthy e-bike because I think Ariel Rider said, forget stealth, we're going for power, we're going for economy, and that's what you end up with. This is one of my favorite e-bikes that I have ever tested, and I think anybody looking for this style of e-bike commuter would be doing themselves a great injustice by not at least considering it. Ariel Rider prides themselves on making powerful, robust e-bikes, and the Rideal is no exception. In fact, it's one of the best spec commuter e-bikes on the market anywhere near its $1,099 MSRP. Let's start with the motor. While most low-cost commuter e-bikes have a 500 watt hub motor or less, the Rideal has a 750 watt hub motor that provides up to 65 Newton meters of torque. And that big jump in power alone sets this bike apart from its primary competition. Other commuter e-bikes in this price range also go with a low-cost single-speed drivetrain, but not the Rideal. It has a 6-speed Shimano tourney derailleur with 14 to 28 tooth gears in the rear, mated to a tourney thumb shifter up front. A half-twist throttle means you can let the motor do all the work or just give you an extra boost when your pedal assist is not enough to climb a short rise or squirt you away from traffic. Powering that motor is a 48-volt, 14-amp-hour lithium-ion battery that's rated to provide between 30 to 60 miles of range. The battery also feeds the standard headlight and tail light, which functions as a brake light whenever you pull a brake lever, whether or not you have the lights turned on. Power and settings are selected via a basic control pad. It lacks a screen, but it has LEDs to indicate battery state of charge and pedal assist level. The Rideal comes with 27.5 by 1.95 inch puncture-resistant tires that are best suited for pavement but are quite capable on packed dirt trails. Tektro mechanical disc brakes provide the stopping power whether you select this high step or the mid step frame. Both frames are available in red, blue, and black, with the high step best for riders 5 foot 10 inches to 6 foot 5 inches tall, and the mid step for riders between 5 foot 2 inches and 6 foot 2 inches tall. While the Rideal doesn't come with fenders or a kickstand, mounting points allow you to easily add those accessories if desired. Assembly of the Rideal is straightforward with included tools. However, you will find having a second person or a floor stand very handy since the bike does not come with a kickstand. Assembly from cutting the box straps to ready to ride took me only 19 minutes, but that's in large part due to the fact that there are no fenders to install. You just install the bars, front wheel, headlight, and pedals, and you're ready to go. You don't need any special skills to do this yourself, though any competent bike shop could handle the assembly for you if you prefer to get someone else to do it. My eyes are watering from the speed. I've been cruising, I know, probably 25 miles an hour down a hill, coasting, because the rolling resistance of these tires is low. They may be 1.95 inches wide, but I've got them pumped up to 55 PSI. One of the things about my commuter bike test loop is that it gets right into the nitty-gritty of riding a bike like this in a place like Raleigh in this area. You have bike lanes like I've got right here. You've got roads that don't have bike lanes, don't have sidewalks, like I started with. And then you have places where it's a death wish to ride with traffic. And so you gotta go on the sidewalk, which is perfectly legal in Raleigh. Pedestrians have the right of way, but it is perfectly legal to ride bikes on sidewalks in Raleigh. But while I benefit from this awesome pedal assist out here on the road,
I actually have to turn the bike off to get 0 pedal assist on sidewalks. Well, any place that I don't want any kind of pedal assist. And since even level 1 pedal assist is pretty powerful, it's very difficult to go slowly with level 1 pedal assist. I do have to turn the bike off, or I have to drag on one of the brakes, the levers, to get the motor cutoff switch activated. And that's actually not something I like to do when I'm around a lot of pedestrians. I'm just going to turn the bike off. It's very quick to turn off, but the one issue is it's a little bit slower to turn back on once you want pedal assist back. So I'm back in a bike lane. This is actually part of my test loop for multi-surface or trail-ready e-bikes. I do bring them out on the road, and I do pedal assist testing on this section right here. And right away, man, that 750 watt motor is awesome. Pedal assist level 5. I'm kind of riding the motor shutoff at what is 20 miles per hour, and I'm not having to work hard at all. I do have a pretty high turnover, which I prefer because of the 6-speed gear set in the back. But level 5 pedal assist, man, you're gonna be able to commute without sweating. I'm 5'8" with a 30-inch inseam, and Ariel Rider sent me this high step, which is actually geared towards riders with at least a 32-inch inseam. It's not a big deal for me. I'm a very experienced rider, and so I don't have any problems, like you just saw, stopping and leaning it over so I could get my foot down and then hopping back up to ride. However, I am certain that most riders who have a shorter inseam than 32 inches will be more comfortable on the mid step. That goes down to a 26-inch step over height. This has no suspension. Actually, you are the suspension and the tires are the suspension. Since I have these tires pumped up to 55 PSI out of the max 65 PSI available, they're not providing a lot of cushion for stuff like speed bumps like that. That's because I don't really want that. My preference is lower rolling resistance. That'll extend my range, and that's one of the things that I've found is just amazing about this bike, about this battery. I've been riding this quite a lot lately, and I don't think I'd have any problems hitting that 60 miles of range if I were a little more conservative with the pedal assist. But I'm getting over 40 miles of range on a battery with pedal assist level 4 and 5 most of the time, and riding at fast speeds, which increases drag, which really eats up on your battery. Ooh, here's some broken pavement. Yes, so you might be able to see it in the camera, I'm not sure. I'm probably the thing that's bouncing around. You're gonna know that you don't have a suspension fork. Now I'm riding off of the seat a little bit. I'm gonna turn off pedal assist. And speaking of the tires, this is a crushed granite walking path right here. And one of the things, again, that I've found riding this several times is that these aren't knobby tires. These can handle this without puncturing, but you're gonna have to be slow and careful on stuff like this. You're gonna be more careful with this bike than the bikes I typically test with fat 4-inch knobby tires down to 10 PSI, things like that. It's really the pressure that hurts you on stuff like this. It has mechanical disc brakes, which are just fine. You ride stuff like this and you're gonna make them squeak. That's just a function of disc brakes in general. It has nothing to do with these specific brakes or Ariel Rider as a brand. Ooh, fun little bridge. What I'm riding on is absolutely a route that I would take from my house if I were commuting to work in downtown Raleigh, including this path right here. And the Rideal is set up for this. Ooh, now I gotta turn the bike back on and get some pedal assist for this hill. And once again, it's doing a lot of the work for me. I'm moving my legs over, but wow, now that it's up to speed, it's actually going faster than I need it to. Coincidentally, in order for me to get downtown from where I live, I have to ride through 2 college campuses. This is Meredith College. It's an all-women's college here in Raleigh, and we'll eventually be riding right down Hillsborough Street, which runs through NC State. Those are 2 places where I would expect to find people who would be interested in a bike like this. Yeah, an e-bike like this, even at $1,099 MSRP, is a lot more expensive than a non-e-bike that you could get away with riding around campus. But a lot of students live really far off campus, and that's where an e-bike might be really nice to have to make a longer commute, and not only a shorter time because you can run at 20 miles per hour without killing yourself, but also you're not going to be all sweaty necessarily when you get to class. I do think that this is geared towards a younger rider, not just because of its budget-oriented price, but also it has a pretty aggressive lean, which I think will be uncomfortable for a lot of people who might have wrist issues, hand issues, because there's a lot of pressure on my hands and wrists. Ariel does have very cushy synthetic leather grips. There's soft foam inside of them, which certainly helps with the hand pressure, not getting pressure points on your palms, but you still have that muscular effort that you have to put in. If you're somebody who wants to alleviate pressure on your hands, this is not going to be the bike that you want. You're going to want a different style commuter, one that is a lot more upright than this. But what you gain is really good aerodynamics to extend your range. You gain the control that you get from more of a forward lean for riding through traffic, if you will. And you end up with a very budget-friendly price and a very good set of components at that price point. Most of all, I'm just blown away by this motor. Most commuters have motors that are capable of 350 to 500 watts, and they still get the job done. But this is beyond get the job done level of power. This is do the job really, really well and put a smile on your face level of power. And then you get to this section of Hillsborough Street. We're entering the NC State area. You almost have an issue with passing cars on the right, which is not a good thing to do. But this has no problems keeping up with the traffic and managing these traffic circles, because as soon as I start pedaling, it's going to try to get me up to 20 miles per hour. Yeah, not everybody understands what a bike lane is. And you might recognize this SUV. I've been following this for at least a mile. So keeping up with traffic in a university setting like this is no issue with this bike. Awesome. Traffic circle action, baby. The other thing about these fat tires is that they actually give you a little more confidence in turning than skinnier tires. And so you can keep your speed up going around things like those traffic circles better. This doesn't come with a kickstand. And so unless you put one on, which you can get them from Amazon, super cheap. It has a mounting bracket for it, but you're gonna be leaning it on yourself when you stop. Because it's a high step, it has a sensible place to put a water bottle cage. This does have the Shimano thumb shifter, which is not my preference. I prefer trigger shifters whenever possible, but this is exactly the same thumb shifter you're gonna find on pretty much any manufacturer's e-bike at this price point. It works just fine. It also allows them to have a twist throttle on the right grip. Oh yeah, I love that motor from a stop. It helps to keep me in front of traffic. That was fantastic. Coming up on the end of where I'm gonna be riding in with the traffic and back on the greenway. And boy, oh boy, I loved having a motor this powerful to give me the boost that I needed to stay in front of things like that van there. He just caught up to me. The control pad is common to entry-level e-bikes. It has LEDs, individual dots, to tell you how much battery power you have and to tell how much pedal assist you have selected. It has on and off switch for the included headlight and tail light. The tail light, as long as a bike is on, will act like a brake light. When you pull the brake levers, it will light up, even if you don't have the lights on. But this is set up for riding at night, giving you good visibility, not just from the spoke-laced reflectors on both wheels, but actual decent lights front and back. Okay, gonna turn the bike back on, and there's my pedal assist. So it's actually pretty fast to get back into action from no pedal assist to pedal assist. It's obviously not as fast as hitting a button from 0 to 1 pedal assist on other bikes, but it's going to be fast enough for things like this as long as you're planning ahead. Oh my gosh, this thing is such a climber. Pedal assist level 1 and I'm just flying up this hill. Because you have to turn the bike off to get pedal assist level 0, obviously there's no throttle unless you have pedal assist. The bike has to be on for that. But then the throttle is available at 0 miles per hour like I've already shown. So I am going the back way home through the state park. This is not what I would expect a bike like this to be good at. And I would not do this kind of riding with this bike on a regular basis. But I do want to show you that it is capable of it nonetheless. Although it would do a whole lot better if I had the tires down to closer to 45 PSI. Almost forgot to talk about the saddle, and partly because I think it's a great match for this bike. It's not really wide at all, but it's got ample cushioning for this kind of riding. With this forward lean, you're actually going to be able to put a little bit more of your meat on the pressure points in the saddle, at least most riders will. And I think that this is a perfect match for this kind of bike. Okay, pedal assist level 5. This is called the roller coaster. And this is going to be the test of off-road climbing of any bike. And I have to be careful mostly. I'm spinning out. Yeah, I gotta lean back to get that rear tire to bite. Oh yeah, look at that. And this climb never looks as steep as it is on video. Oh, that is fantastic. Easy day for this. Yeah, it's just a matter of getting your weight balance right to help that street-oriented tire dig into the loose gravel, and easy day. This bike is fantastic. For what it is very good. This is not the kind of bike that I would be riding for the majority of the riding that I do, which is out here. But for a commuter, for a budget-oriented e-bike, for someone who is going to stay mostly on pavement and maybe have to ride stuff like this, or want to ride it with friends some of the time, this is going to do it. This is fantastic. I'm super impressed. I think it's pretty clear that I really like this e-bike, even though it's not geared towards the kind of riding that I do anymore. My commute, if you could call it that, is across my front porch and my socks to the studio above my garage. However, I did spend decades commuting to and from work, to and from classes in grad school, using mostly trucks, but sometimes bikes. So I know that this is actually a pretty good fit for someone who's going to be sticking mostly to pavement, but wants help with some hills, wants help dealing with traffic. Someone who might not want to pay for a parking spot or not want to waste time trying to find an open spot in a lot you've already paid for. Did that for 2 years. Ariel Rider says that they don't make slow e-bikes, and the Rideal is no exception to that. It is limited to class 2 speeds of 20 miles per hour maximum assist, whether it's pedal assist or with the throttle. However, it's going to get you there faster than you're going to be able to get there on your own, and it's not limited to doing that on hills. What I think is most impressive about this bike is what it all offers for an MSRP of under $1,100, making it what I think is one of the best values in e-bikes on the market today. If you're interested in getting a Rideal or any Ariel Rider bike, be sure to use the link in the video description to place your order. It supports the channel when you do. Be sure to subscribe for more e-bike reviews. I really appreciate you watching the Tech of Tech, and hope to see you next time.